actually, the purpose of this video, I meant to continue, is, okay, so this gentleman says that the pads just keep ripping off, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to see what it takes to rip a pad off. I mean, it's simple as that. I don't believe it, all right? And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but I just don't believe it, all right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to solder onto this pad here. I'm going to turn my soldering iron on. I'm going to crank it up. All right, we're going to see what it takes to burn the pad right off, okay? So I'm going to tell you right now, pads lift off when you overheat them, period. I mean, maybe there's some other instances where it doesn't happen, but for the most part, excuse me, it's about 3:20 in the morning right now and I can't sleep, so I'm doing this work instead. Now I'm just trying to clean off my soldering iron. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just set this on here, all right? Let's see if I can get any of this solder to kind of move around. There it goes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead with that hot. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to solder to it this cable. I'm going to do that. I need to get some solder on here first. All right. Okay, so find that pad, which is right here, and I'm just going to solder onto this pad right here. Okay, so I'm pulling, and there you go. Okay, see how that pad just came right off? That's it. Took a little effort, but I had to pull though. I'm not gonna lie. But now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find another pad. This time I'm not gonna overheat the pad. I'm gonna use my flux paste, and I'm gonna find one that hasn't been used yet. Right? I'm gonna find. Let's use this one here. Let me see. Let me find something that might be a little less significant. RX1, TX1, no. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I'll use this right here. So I'm going to use the RX1 pad right there. Okay? Don't need it, don't care. So let me just go ahead. I'm going to solder it real quick. Okay? There we go. See that right there? And you should see it right there. It is. There's the solder I just put on. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and get the same wire, prep it up. I'm going to tin it again. I'm going to try to. It's getting a little abused here, but let me just see if I can get it ready. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and solder this wire to that right there. Okay. There. Now trust me, I know the solder doesn't look the best. And now we're going to wait. And I'm going to pull. I mean, I'm pulling, guys. Look, I'm pulling. I'm pulling to the point where I'm actually pulling the silicone back. Okay? I mean, I don't know how much more you need to see, but I'm pulling. God darn it, I'm pulling. Jeez. Here, I mean, like, I'll have you guys, you can watch side by side. There. There. Okay? So it's under the microscope, and I'm literally, I mean, I'm pulling to the point where, finally. My God, did it? Yep, there you go. Okay? I mean, it ripped it off after pulling the silicone back that far. I'm telling you right now that that was a heck of a pull. Okay, I mean, I put a lot of effort, I put a lot of force into it, right? But now let me show you something different. I'm going to change my soldering irons real quickly. Just give me 1 second. All right. Okay. So now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to solder again to another pad. This time I'm going to overheat the pad. Okay? So let me show you how that's going to work. I'm going to pick this pad right here. Pick this one right here. These haven't been soldered on yet, okay? I'm going to pick one of those. Okay, and here goes. So go ahead first, put the solder on. Okay, so now it's on, right? Now watch. I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna hold this down here for a little bit. Kind of replicate like somebody's trying to overheat it. Okay, it's overheated, boom. Okay, now I'm gonna take this same wire, let me just remove the old pad because there's a pad stuck on there. Right. Take this. Actually, I need to clean this wire up just a tad. It's been used quite a few times now. For 1 second. So I'm gonna clean this wire. I'm gonna fix this wire up real quick. I'm just gonna twist it up. Put some flex paste on it. Tin it. And then we can get started with our experiment. So let me just tin it up here real quick. Okay. Put it on there. Cook the solder just a little bit. Ooh, that's hot. Okay. Now, with that temperature, look at that. Pad comes right off. Okay, guys? So, I don't know how else to tell you, but, and I hope this is helping you to understand that pads just don't come off just because. They come off because usually you're cooking them too much. Okay? This is not a JHEMCU issue, and as much as, I know some people would like to say it is, it's not. Alright? So, again, I'm going to prep this wire up one more time. Okay, so let me do that. Alright, can see the wire getting prepped up here. I'm going to tin it up. I'm using a different soldering iron, so bear with me. Gives me a little bit to get used to it. Alright, so this wire is going to be tinned up and ready to go. Okay? Alright, there it is. Okay, now let's grab the board again. And I'm just looking for any innocent pad here that wants to get demolished. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. I'm going to tin it. I'm going to put the flex pen on it. I'm going to get the pad ready. I think I need my old man goggles for this one, so give me a second. Okay. I'm going to use the pad next to it this time now. Hopefully I haven't damaged it that much to where the pad next to it can be used. Alright, that should give me a good length. Let's let it sit a second. Okay, now I'm already starting to pull. I got nothing. I mean, I'm pulling, okay? I'm pulling, and I wish I could tell you how hard I'm pulling this, but let's see. I'll put let me raise this up. Okay. Let's lock it. Let's focus. Okay. Here you go. Here's the pad that I soldered. I don't worry about the solder job or anything else. I just cared to put a piece on here. Now I'm tugging at this, okay? Pulling, all right? You're just gonna have to trust me. That's how hard I'm pulling. Now, you can see, okay? But watch what happens. I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna overheat the heck out of this thing for about 10 seconds. I'm gonna let go. Okay, and look at that. Everything just comes off. Okay, so point is, guys, is that it takes little to no strength. Here, let me just change the view now and turn off this stuff real quickly. There we go. All right. So look, here's the deal, okay? And I'm sure this video to you guys, whatever, you know, it may be pointless, but let me explain to you the purpose of it, okay? I get RMAs all the time, and I'm now working with JGMCU. I've been working with HGLRC. It looks like we're going to be working with FreeSky, and basically my whole goal is to only sell product where we can actually do the repairs, where we're authorized to do them here, so my customers don't have to wait, okay, send them out or do whatever. But it is my duty to also make sure that you guys understand that, you know, you cannot blame the manufacturer when a lot of the problems I'm seeing now are actually on the end user side. Okay, now no offense to anybody. I mean, I have 3 boards from one person, right? And I'm telling you right now that from what I'm seeing, when I see pads burn off and people clear the pad completely, it's because they're overheating it. All right. Now you could tell me your temperature's, oh, it's low, it's low. I don't care how low it is. What I care about is how long you keep that iron on there. Now I can prove it just like I did now. I did 3 or 4 runs, and when I just held it on to solder it and let it go, and I'm tugging at it, and it took a ton of force to rip that pad off. But when I held it on for 5 seconds, right? Low temperature is what people would argue. I don't. I think it's high temperature to melt some of the solder anyway, and especially if you're melting 60-40. Okay, so if you keep it at that, and 5 seconds is all it takes, and you could pull that pad off with no effort at all. That's not the fault of the company who make the product. That's the fault of the person doing the soldering work. Okay. Now, will I say this is 100% of the time all the time? I don't know. I can just tell you that I can run tests on these 3 boards from JHEMCU, and I get the same results each time. I did it for you guys live. I mean, there's no editing of this video, so you see it. Okay. this was a concern I had, because when I start getting people, and they're complaining, oh, I do this all the time. No, you don't. No, it's not possible. It's not possible that you do it all the time, because there's different factors: the solder, the soldering iron, the board. The components, are they smaller, are they bigger, are they 30 by 30 or 30 and a half by 30 and a half, or are they 20 by 20 or 16 by 16? Each one has the 30 by 30 and a half by 30 and a half are going to be stronger. They're bigger boards. They have much more solder holding them in place. I mean, the pads are thicker and so forth. As you start getting smaller in the boards and you start shoving a bunch of components on there, the more susceptible they are to problems like this. So at the end of the day, the point here is that you want to rip a pad off, you just keep your soldering on there a little bit long, and then really with just a little effort, I mean, just like a pull, a gentle pull, you're going to rip the pads right off. But if you do it right, it should take you a ton of force, something that you shouldn't normally see. Okay? All right, guys, that's all I got for right now. I just want to share this with you because I'm doing a bunch of RMAs tonight, and this it's about, 3:30 in the morning? It's 3:33 right now. And I thought this would be a great time to stop and just kind of do a little clip on this, all right? Talk to you soon, guys. See you. Bye.